Call the meeting to order with the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening and welcome to the regular May meeting of the Newcastle School Board. First item on the agenda. Well, first of all, let's back up just a little bit. I would imagine there are some people who are going to speak at the board meeting. Prior to public comments, we'll be picking the sheet up that you need to sign in if you want to speak at tonight's meeting. And once we pick that sheet up, right before comments, I will call the names of the people who wanted to speak. If your name's not on that list, you will not speak. So if you plan on speaking tonight, you need to sign in here in the next couple minutes. Grab a copy of the public participation of board meeting policy and review that prior to speaking, because those are the rules we'll be following tonight during public comments. So, first item on the agenda is adjustments to the agenda, Mr. Good.
Yep, there are no adjustments to the agenda this month.
Okay, good, thanks. Next item is recognitions. Mr. Givney.
Yep, Mr. Roberts.
Good evening. Here I have Rowan Norman, who is our Student of the Month. He was nominated by his first grade teacher, Mrs. Clark. Rowan is a very sweet and caring boy. He is considerate to others and is a good helper. He also goes out of his way to show kindness to others. He comes to school excited and ready to learn each day, and he gives his best effort even when the work is hard, and he never gives up. He's such a joy to have in class. So congratulations to Rowan Dorman.
And we do have the backdrop set up in the other room for pictures of our students of the month. Mr. McHugh.
Just a minute.
I'd like to introduce you to Presley Phillips. Presley is a kindergarten in Mrs. Stockton's class. And I was proud to announce that Presley is our April Student of the Month. Mrs. Stockton writes that Presley is a great example for her peers. She consistently does what's expected and is kind to everyone. I can always count on Presley to be following school and classroom rules, as well as helping out friends. She is always willing to help out any student. Presley follows all aspects of being a star student at Deer Meadow, and I'm proud to say that she is certainly a star student. Presley was also received votes from many of our staff members who are not kindergarten teachers, in addition to the kindergarten team. So as she goes through art, music, PE, library, many votes, and was overwhelmingly our Student of the Month. We're very proud of Presley.
Mrs. Elder.
So our TZ April Student of the Month representative for our school is Lindy Kuhn, and I'm going to turn it over to her teacher who nominated her.
I chose Lindy for her hard work and dedication to be successful, and never have to worry if Lindy is rushing through her work or not giving her best effort on a task. Lindy also demonstrates responsibility consistently by taking projects home on her own initiative and completing them. I also appreciate Lindy's positive attitude no matter what task is given to her, as well as her ability to problem solve unique solutions. Lindy enjoys learning and has been a pleasure to have in class all year.
Mrs. Clements.
This is Ana Martinez. She is one of our students that we are very proud of. She works diligently every day. She is very kind to her peers. She's respectful at all times, and she was nominated by her entire sixth grade teachers. She's also the first person to help another classmate out. She also helps around the building. She is a tremendous student as well, and we're very proud that she's at our school. So, Ana.
This is good, Pastor.
Our student of the month for March, she was not able to attend, is Brooke Tyson. She was nominated by Mr. Hankey. And Mr. Hankey said that she exemplifies the virtue of perseverance. Even through the most challenging lessons, Brooke never quits, never gives up, never complains. When faced with an obstacle, Brooke always seeks to get help for the answers when she struggles, and she's always successful. It is with resolute spirit that ensures that Brooke will overcome many challenges when she faces in life. I don't. Is
Is your second
Kaden
one here?
Terry here? Okay, our other one's Kaden, so we'll just present that to him at school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then also under recognitions this month, we have Mrs. Munoz Thede and Mr. Hanson.
Well, thanks so much for having us tonight. Me and Mrs. Munoz Thede just finished up a whole contest season for us at ISMA this past year. For those of you who might not know, ISMA stands for Indiana State School Music Association, and it's like the premier judging and contest for all music groups across the state of Indiana. There's hundreds of schools that participate, public schools, private schools, and we both took our ensembles there. We took our middle school choirs and our bands and our high school choirs and bands, and it was a really successful one. I just want to say, too, the Pacers have made it farther than they have before, and we sang the national anthem there, so I think that's a big reason why.
Take a little credit.
There's a little bit. Before I hand it over to Mrs. Munoz Thede, I want to talk a little about the Greencastle Classics, which are their advanced choir, how they performed at their ISMA event this year. They had to sing 3 pieces of their ISMA state qualifier events. 2 of them were selected from this list of about 50 pieces that are high-level music that a lot of colleges do. And then I got to choose one piece off the list for them. They also had to sight read a brand new piece of material that they were never given before, and they scored really high. They scored in the top 10 of their sight. They scored really, really high in the sight reading, so I was especially proud of them for their musicianship and everything for that. So thanks for your continued support of the choir, and I'll hand it over to Mrs. Munoz.
Good evening. My name is Annette Munoz Thede. This is my, I think, 7th year here at Greencastle. It's been such a blessing to teach music every single day. I brought some students with because I think that they need to be seen. And I have one from each grade level. I just want them to introduce themselves, and then I will give a quick synopsis, and then I have a senior who'd like to speak.
I am Gabriela Bricino, and I play the flute at the 6th grade band.
I am Julian Dowd, and I play trombone in the 7th grade band.
I'm Jonah Horvath, and I play the saxophone in the 8th grade.
I am Aubrey Campfield, and I play the flute in the high school band. I play the saxophone in high school band.
I play the trumpet in the high school band.
I'm Cam Benedix. I play trombone in the high school band.
I'll give a quick synopsis of the middle school this year, and then Cam will talk very briefly about the high school. The middle school band took 2 groups to contest, 6th grade and a combined 7th and 8th grade band, going group 5 for 6th grade and group 3 for 7th and 8th grade. They received straight golds and had great success playing a variety of music, typically a march, overture, and a lyrical piece. Super proud of them and their success. Every student here, I believe, participated in solo and ensemble contests as well. And across the board, both band and choir had higher involvement and great success in that as well. We just want to share with you that we're just very happy that the arts are so supported here at Green Castle. And I'm going to turn this over very quickly to Cam Benedicts, our band president, who is graduating this year.
Okay, so as Ms. Munoz said, I am the band president, and I just want to say that this has been honestly a pretty defining year for the high school band. She didn't mention this, but the high school group went Group 1, which is the highest level that you can compete at as a high school band, and we received straight golds, and I was just informed that it is the first time in over 2 decades that we've even attempted to perform at the Group 1 level. And the process has involved just so much high level work, and it's really been pretty amazing to see how far this band has come, even in just the last 2 years. So yes, as we are very happy to have programs like this at Green Castle.
Yeah, and while you're up there, I also noticed a couple of kids that are on our academic Super Bowl teams who are also setting state records. We had our 36th state championship in the academic Super Bowl, largest for any school of any size in any class. And then we also had some that didn't finish as state champions, still performed well as well. So congratulations.
Thank you. Hey, Tony, could you fit? Okay, thank you. Okay. So we have a long list, but only a couple people have registered to speak. So we will start with the public comment section. I ask that everyone review the policy. You'll have 3 minutes to address the board. Not a conversation. It's not a question and answers. Don't make your comments personal. Be polite. Once that protocol is broken, comments are over. So first item, Mrs. Inlow, where did you go? Do you want to speak again? You put it. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. First up would be Lori Mitchell. Yes. Yep. Please speak into the mic so everyone can hear you back there. State your name, and you've got a 3-minute comment.
Hi, my name is Lori Mitchell. I am the mom/grandma of a 4th grader at TCE. In my past, I have substitute taught for a long, long time. I love school. She loves school. I want everybody to know here that all of us are in support of our public school teachers. We love you. We know that you give a lot. There's nothing that I would do to go back in that field, but we love you and we want to be supportive to you. However, what I'm hearing is that there have been a lot of problems with administration, a lot of things that have not been, as far as people not being treated well. You know, we want our children to have their best interests met, and that's just not what I'm hearing. It's not okay. You know, we want need professionals who are there for our kids and who will put our kids first. We need professionals who are passionate about doing what's right for our kids, and even if that means that you have a friend who needs a job, you know, in another district, you keep the peace. You do what's right for our kids. We've lost a lot of people that we've loved, and a lot of people that our kids have loved. And, you know, like I said, we're here to support you guys, and we just want people who will stay here and dedicate themselves to teaching and guiding our kids. And we just want it back desperately. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the list, Amber Mackey. Hello.
Our daughter has an IEP at TC. I received an email from the school asking us to sign off on changes, not based on our daughter's progress, but based on the district's desire to reduce services across the board. We already had our child's case conference just weeks prior, and our daughter's teachers had unanimously voiced concern that the services already in her IEP might not be enough. Just weeks later, I received an email asking to cut her services almost in half and replace pull-outs with push-in services. I can't imagine that going well for a child whose IEP specifically relates to her susceptibility to distractions. I immediately asked for the reasons behind the sudden 180. I asked if they had seen a drastic improvement in such a short time. I was then informed that this had nothing to do with her individual assessment or her teacher's level of concern for her, but the principal and assistant superintendent's desire to make changes to all IEPs. They've never been involved in our daughter's education or any of her evaluations, and quite frankly, it's called an IEP for a reason. That stands for Individual Education Plan. Are they recommending this new course of action because of data? How are special education teachers going to be able to bounce between several classrooms during that instruction time? Don't our special education population numbers warrant having a third SPED teacher, as was requested 2 years ago? Why don't we have one? Are teachers with ELA qualifications going to be providing instructions for special interventions? Are teachers with math training going to be providing interventions during wind time? These kids and their teachers are special. They deserve respect and support. Not just anyone can give these kids IEP or 504 support. ADHD and other neurodivergences may be considered a disability by many because these kids need to be taught differently. That's because the brain works differently. But different doesn't mean worse. Honestly, in a lot of ways, it can be a superpower. These neurodivergent people are the ones who have the greatest potential to be highly gifted. Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Thomas Jefferson, Sir Isaac Newton, Leonardo da Vinci, John F. Kennedy, Elon Musk. These are all neurodivergent people, and the list goes on. These kids are special. They deserve a proper education. These neurodivergences are not deficits, they are differences. Not every person is meant to be a cog in the machine. Some are meant to invent or pilot the rocket. There is nothing wrong with worker bees who follow directions and easily fit into pre-designed curriculum plans. But there's also nothing wrong with those who don't. Without them, we would never have revolutionary technology, thought, movements, or art. So why does it feel like these kids and their services are under attack? All of our children and teachers deserve our support. Our teachers are leaving, our system is failing them all, and we need to fix it now. Thank you.
Next would be David Mackey.
Hello.
Could you state your name real quick?
Dave.
Thank you.
My daughter attends DZ, and I'm not only concerned with the reduction in services that kids with IEPs, 504s can even get to classes, but the complete lack of professionalism when it comes to sharing testing information with parents. I'm also deeply concerned with the loss of many beloved staff members and poor morale in our child's school.
and the sad disrepair that our schools are in. I shouldn't have to hear my 10-year-old come home and talk about ceiling tiles crumbling and falling on desks and floors. In my experience, I've seen them getting wet. Does it mean likely roof leaks alongside maybe sprinkler system leaks? Maybe due to systematic neglect? Leaks at harbor and nurture the growth of mold and mildew? Roof leaks that lead salmonella and plasmosis into the classrooms after running across a roof full of bird and animal feces? Should I hear stories of snakes being able to get into the school hallways because the opening doors that are supposed to keep our children safe? Or rain leaking in the majority of windows in the building? Since when is lice and bed bugs been something to worry about? And not trying to control now. It's said to be a life choice. Only exposing our children to these parasites to bring home with them. The issues need addressed. Not only are they disruptive during the school day for our children, they're also health concerns. The administration should be embarrassed and ashamed for our schools to look like this while dumping copious amounts of money into the high school. What about all the peeling paint around the building? I thought that was budgeted and forecast to be done annually. Is there a recent lead and copper survey for the children's drinking water and the water that their food is prepared with? How about a lead paint assessment alongside the asbestos survey done through the building? With just 15 minutes of online research, I was able to find that Indiana asbestos was banned in new construction in 1989. Lead containing plumbing was banned in new construction in 1987. Lead paint was banned in 1978. All banned after the completion of the school being built. I ask all of you to do a little bit of research and decide funding high school renovations, although admirable, to trump the upkeep of our children's other schools. There should be budgeted money forecast and allotted for bed occupancy of the schools. Thanks for your time.
Aaron Nance, are you just signed to speak with your? Yep. Okay. And we have one maybe, Brianna Tyson. Would you state your name again, please?
My name is Brianna Tyson. I have 2 children at TZ and 1 at the middle school. I love our community. I love living in a small town, as do most people that live here and stay here. I went through Greencastle school system. My children are. I'm committed to our community, as are all of you. So I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the teachers that are in our buildings. They love our kids. We have some of the best teachers. So really, I want to speak out just to say thank you for your time, your energy, all that you give our kids. I also want to say it's okay that, there are people living in other towns that come and work in our schools. That's great. I love that they want to come here. But I ask that you look at how many teachers are leaving or expressing discontent and ask why. I hate to think of us losing more teachers that are committed to our children, that love our children. And I'd like to say that last year, Mrs. Asbell, as the assistant principal, after having my daughter for 1 year, not only knew her name, how to say it correctly, but when she sees us out in the community, like at a basketball game in January or February, she goes out of her way to stop, to greet my child, to ask how she's doing, and give her a big hug. One of my children, who's at TZ, was asked by an administrator last week if he was a new student. So I just ask you to look into what is going on and please support our teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. So that is all that's on the list. Is there anyone that did not get signed in? Okay, well, were you here when I gave directions to sign in before you could speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Come on up and state your name. And you did hear that you have 3 minutes, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay. My name is Ashley Deaton. I have a student at the high school. His name is Michael. And he used to love school. Absolutely loved going to school. He hates it now. He hates going. Because he doesn't feel like he's supported at all.
He has like 3 teachers that he actually enjoys. He could care less about the other students. He wants to change schools because he says the people here don't care about him. And it's not the teachers, because the teachers are trying. The teachers are reaching out and engaging him, but they don't have the support they need to be able to actually help our students. That's not fair to our kids. That's not fair to our teachers. My son is doing summer school this year because I asked 3 years in a row, can we hold him back? I think he's struggling. And I was told, nope, we were told that we just need to get them up so that they can catch up next year. I don't know who's in charge of that. That's not how education should work. You guys have the ability to do better or bring better in. It needs to be done.
Thank you. Okay, well, that wraps up public comments. Thank you for everyone who made their comments. Next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda, which consists of meeting minutes from the regular board meeting of April 22nd, 2024, the allowance of claims, the financial report, and personnel reports, part 1 and 2. They're found on the door and on the website. Mrs. Rowan.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
As usual in your finance package, you're going to see 2 regular payrolls for the month of April 2024. First payroll was dated April 12th for a total payroll of $500,532.06. And as usual, we also have retirement and taxes in the payrolls. Total retirement and taxes for the April 12th payroll, $141,469.10. The second regular payroll in April was dated 26th for a total payroll of $491,792.53, and along with that came the retirement and taxes. Total was $141,150.29. Next in your package, you're going to see a list of prepays for the month of April 2024. As you look through here, did you have any questions about anything this month? There's nothing unusual on this list. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Good.
No?
Not here.
Total prepays for April 2024, $357,025.64. And then you've got listed a list of claims dated today, May 20th, 2024. There really isn't anything unusual on this list as well. There was a renewal. Oh, I know what it was. It was the lease payment for the teachers' laptops, devices, all that kind of good stuff. So that would have been like the only thing that was unusual for this month. Total claims listed May 20th, 2024, $443,791.55. We'll move on to the finance report. We've got the fund report, the balance of education fund end of April 2024. $3,574,111.38. We'll go down a couple of lines to operations. Fund 300. Balance $111,909.45. If you go to the very last page of your fund report, that's going to be page 6. Total on all funds $7,864,456.29. Next is going to be your depository statement. That's going to be our bank fund. We would like those to balance to the penny. And you'll notice that the total on all funds and the total on all banks that we balance. That means our banks are balancing with all of our funds, the fund report that we just discussed. Next in your finance package, you're going to see fund transfer report. On here, you're going to have any transfers I did from one bank to another. You'll have a transfer from school lunch. The education ops transfer. The total for all transfers was $983,245.60. And then finally, in your package, you're going to have the expenditures for bond 2021. Total expenditures as of the end of April 2024, $32,402,330.03.
And then bond 2022, we did not have any new expenditures in the month of April, but our total to date through April 2024 is $3,950,95.87.
Another year. Okay, hearing no questions or comments, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I will make a motion.
Okay, a motion and a second, all in favor?
I'd like to just make a comment quick, if that's okay.
Okay.
On that report, it says that we're going to have a retirement of Principal Mike McHugh. And we just want to give him a round of applause and thank him for all the work he's doing.
And just so everyone's aware, we do honor all of our retirees throughout district every June. So we'll be honoring Mr. McHugh again.
Good. He deserves it.
Couldn't agree more. So we still need to vote. So hearing no more comments or questions, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is reports. First one from the Greencastle Classroom Teachers Association, Mr. Nance.
I'm happy to speak to the board today to share some updates from the GCTA. Specifically, I would like to speak on Tezonicus in particular, as we have recently completed a building staff feedback survey for our TZ teachers. The feedback that we have received was summarized and provided to Mrs. Eldridge, Mr. Gibney, and Mrs. McPherson this last week, and it is my belief that Mr. Gibney has shared that feedback with our school board. We are working with our admins at TZ and at central office to address the feedback given. We are hoping that the board and Mr. Gibney will take and continue to take steps to address the concerns raised in the feedback given. One thing I would like to share from the survey is the fact that our teacher grade level teams and departmentalized teams in general feel that they are performing well together at TZ. Our union looks forward to the future working with our admins on any issues that arise and finding ways to support our teachers, students, and community as a whole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is the Assistant Superintendent Report. Mrs. McPherson.
Yes, I am excited to share that for the 24-25 school year, the high school is going to be able to offer the Indiana College Core. So this is a block of 30 credit hours of college level coursework that is guaranteed to transfer between all Indiana public colleges and universities and counts toward their high school credits and diploma attainment. And we're going to do that through a partnership with IU as well as Ivy Tech to accumulate those 30 credits. We have 2 additional teachers who are earning and have earned their dual credit certification, and 6 other teachers who are interested in earning that over the next 2 to 4 years. So that will increase our ability to offer dual credit classes. And I really want to thank the time that Mrs. Goodpaster, Mr. Kendall, and Mr. McNichol took to kind of present to us a plan of how they're going to get there and what it's going to look like for our students. So I thank them for that, and I'm excited to give them this opportunity.
Good. Thank you.
And I'd like to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Next up will be the assistant or the superintendent report, Mr. Gibbons.
Yep, I'd like to jump back to Mrs. Clemens for a moment.
Thank you for fitting us in. This is Liam Montgomery. He's another recipient of our Student of the Month. He just had a really great starring role in our play where he did two different characters, and he was outstanding in that as well. He was nominated by his entire team of teachers for his kindness, his hard work, and his pure heart. He is always caring and giving. And I was too quick on my way out, so I missed them as they were standing here. So I appreciate you guys giving us the time to recognize Leanne.
Yep. So just a couple of other items here under superintendent's report. We had Mr. Hanson and Ms. Munoz in to share, obviously, about our band and choir programs. But I didn't want it to get lost in the shuffle. We actually hired an agriculture teacher for Greencastle Middle School and Greencastle High School for next year. So we're looking forward to bringing ag back to Greencastle. We think that's important. I know that in many different conversations I've had since I've been here, that's been an interest and a need, and just in hearing Mr. Evans, Mark Evans, speak the other day from Purdue Extension at the high school award ceremony. I think we had 10 high school students, maybe even a little 12 high school students complete 10 years of 4-H or more, which shows that there is an interest. So we'll be starting that in the fall. We'll be sharing that teacher between the high school and the middle school. We'll also be building up an FFA program at the middle school and high school. So we're really excited about that. And the goal is that program takes off to expand and have a standalone teacher in each building. So with that being said, any of our farmers, anybody that works in that type of industry, our new teacher is very eager to begin building her program, which consists of advisory board and other things as well. So I wanted to mention that. And then our JAG program, our Jobs for America's Graduates, which I'm really excited about to help more of our students succeed, especially those that might not yet know their career pathway or just might need a little extra guidance or a little extra push along the way. We have Mrs. Crosby and Mr. Brown. Sorry, his name escaped me for a minute. They held Mr. Brown held a JAG parent night at the middle school. It was well attended by parents, but we're looking forward to them building that program. Again, one of the neatest things about that is that 1 year post-high school mentorship. We know that a lot of our students, when they leave us after graduating, it's that first year to where they really need to experience success to push through and continue on with their post-secondary education, or even in the workforce. So having a friendly face, a familiar face, someone to help guide them along the way is important as well. So we already talked about academic Super Bowl. We had 4-peat in the tennis sectional. As you can see, Greencastle students are very talented, very amazing, and involved in multiple different activities. So very excited about that. And then obviously our teaching staff and our schools, we have one more day of school with children, followed by one work day with staff. So I'd really like to give a collective thanks to our school staff and every employee throughout the district that has helped make this school year a success.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is old business. We have no old business, which brings us to new business. The first item is a preliminary determination hearing. Mr. Gibney.
Yeah, so I apologize, but I have to read some things here. But pursuant to Indiana Code 2026-737, the Forest School Corporation may spend more than $1 million to build, repair, or alter a school building that will be financed by lease or bonds. It must hold a public hearing at which explanations of the potential value of the project, the school corporation, and community are given. Similarly, pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1.1-20-3.1, the school corporation must hold 2 public hearings and adopt a resolution preliminary determined to issue bonds or enter a lease for a project which has a total project cost in excess of a non-controlled project. These public hearings and the adoption of resolutions are the very beginning of the legal process. These resolutions establish the maximum financial terms for the proposed project.
Now we will hear from Mr. Gibney about the process of determining and communicating the project to the community and the need for the project.
Yeah, so as you might recall, back in fall of 2020, we actually conducted a feasibility study throughout the district, so a review of all school district facilities. And we held some participation for stakeholders from the community to participate in those sessions. And we worked with an architect to review building conditions, help assign values, and then at the end of that, we compiled all that data into essentially a facility master plan. Because we know that there's so much work that needs to take place throughout the district, but obviously there are not enough dollars all the time to address all of those needs. So we ranked, sorted, and prioritized those items, and that's what helped us complete the first 2 building projects in the past couple of years. So you might recall that's the renovation and addition to Greencastle Middle School, albeit not a full renovation. And that's also the full renovation, addition, and connecting Greencastle High School to McAnally Center. That also included renovation to and improvements at each of our elementary schools. So our secure entrances and some miscellaneous repairs. Specifically at TZ, you might remember that we had the moisture issue several years ago. Well, we discovered during that facility study that essentially the building was open to outside air, and we helped to close that up. So what we've done is we've continued to try to chip away at that list, while also reviewing additional things that just the general operations budget can't sustain. Because there are things that need to continue to be approved, and that is one of the reasons why we are looking to issue more debt, is to tackle some additional needs. So we'll just continue to kind of chip away at that list.
Okay, now we will hear from Chad Blylock from Stifel about the proposed project, how it will be financed, as well as information about the typical effect or the effect on the typical property tax holder. Thank you.
Corey's great for technology. You can do that.
Well, good evening, everybody. Appreciate you having us. This is your final preliminary determination hearing for your 2024 bond issue. We can go on to the next slide. So this particular slide shows all of Greencastle Community Schools' current outstanding annual debt payments by the 6 issues that are still outstanding. Next slide. This particular slide shows the debt service rates that would be in place to repay the debt, annual debt payments on the bond issues in the previous slide. Greencastle Schools has had a debt service tax rate of 0.6199 historically. That rate is expected currently to decrease. This particular slide shows in the blue bringing on the 2024 GO bonds with a par value of $2.5 billion. And you can see the tax rate that would then be in place to fund this particular bond issue. And this would keep the 2024 0.6199 tax rate in place for budget years 25 and 26. And then leaving flexibility after that, after 26, what we would call debt cliffs past 26, where tax rate debt payments would begin to drop off. This slide goes through the parameters of the proposed bond issue. Outstanding par amount being $2.5 million. Estimated cost of all the issuance costs included $150,000. Netting net proceeds after the project and for project hard and soft cost of $2,350,000. The current estimated maximum interest rate of 6%. Estimated interest being repaid would be $522,250. And these bonds would mature, have a final maturity January 15th of 2036. The estimated maximum annual payment on this one bond issue would be $1 million, and the estimated maximum tax rate impact being 19 cents. However, the incremental tax rate impact over the 2024 tax rate being net at zero. The school corporation's maximum annual payments as a percent of their NAV is 7.1%. Their direct and overlapping debt as a percent of your NAV is 7.78%.
Thank you.
With that, take your questions. You guys have sat through this a few times now, so.
Yeah, so just to point out, when we took on the big debt and conducted the lease finance, we sold a larger amount of bonds, over $30 million. But it was important to us to leave capacity a couple of years down the road to take care of some needs that pop up. And so the goal is to avoid big projects and instead do little projects more frequently. And we've been working with Stifel to manage to our debt service tax rate. So again, our debt service tax rate, we don't want to see any increase. Matter of fact, when our budget orders came back last year, we actually made cuts to it to bring it down to that amount. So that way we do not raise our debt service tax rate.
Thank you. Okay, now we open a public hearing for anyone wanting to make a comment on the project resolution.
Sure. Go up there?
Yeah, come up, state your name and.
Present bill, I've got 4 kids in your schools. $2.5 million for what? It just says the project.
This is just comments. This is not a.
Okay, well, how do I know where it's at?
Mr. Gibby, would you like to address that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're looking at. This isn't meant to be a question and answer session. I'd be happy to meet with you. But for instance, the big parking lot at the high school needs to be milled and repaved. We put some handrails at the stadium bleachers. We're looking at lighting at Parker Auditorium. We're looking at sidewalk replacement. We're looking at roofing. We're looking at additional lighting. Those are some of the major needs.
I know it's not questions, it's comments, and
sure,
you can figure out however you want to reply, I guess. Is there somewhere where you have a task list of things that you guys want? I mean, I'm not saying we don't need anything, but it would be nice to know what money is going to what.
Okay, again,
put that out somewhere, whatever.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Givney, could you summarize the project resolution?
Sure. Yep. The project resolution is required when the school is planning to spend more than $1 million per building. It contains the estimated hard and soft construction costs and the cost of issuance, and establishes the total project cost. It also contains the estimated tax impact.
Okay. Can I get a motion and a second to adopt the project resolution if there are any questions?
Dale moved. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next, Mr. Gibney, could you summarize the preliminary determination resolution?
Yep. So the preliminary determination resolution is required when the school is planning to finance more than a certain amount for a given facility. It contains the total project cost, maximum annual payment, and lease term, and other financial terms such as the estimated principal amount and tax impact.
Okay, can I have a motion and a second to adopt the preliminary determination resolution?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. That is the end of the hearing, and moving on in the agenda. Next item on the agenda.
I think you missed the reimbursement resolution.
The reimbursement resolution.
Yep.
Would you mind summarizing the reimbursement resolution?
Yep. The next
How about that?
resolution is a reimbursement resolution relating to the financing of the construction project. This resolution permits the school corporation to reimburse itself from bond proceeds for any cash which it might spend on the project prior to the closing of the bonds. It is required by federal tax law in order to preserve the school corporation's ability to reimburse itself.
So this allows us to go ahead and use a rainy day fund to start the projects, get them moving, and then once the bond is issued, then we can be repaid. Is that
Provided we make it through all the legal steps, yes, and sell bonds, then we can reimburse ourselves. So, for instance, like the big parking lot of the high school, we know that we have to pave that. And then there's some other miscellaneous things as well that we'd like to take care of when students are not present, so that way they're complete when the school year starts.
Okay, anybody else have any questions or comments about the reimbursement resolution?
I make a motion we pass the resolution.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. That now closes the hearing. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for asphalt paving at the Greencastle High School parking lot. Mr. Gibbon.
Yep, so we are working through preliminary quotes, and as you can imagine, with the timing of summer break upcoming, we'd like to complete that work once school's out and once graduation is complete. We expect to have some finalized quotes. We're waiting on another as well through an external bidder, and we essentially I would like permission to move forward with a not to exceed amount of $450,000. I don't expect it to cost $450,000. Expect it to come in under that. But in order to move forward with that and not require a special board meeting, certainly we'll report on that in the next board meeting once something is executed. So right now we have 3 quotes through Whittle Brothers, and we're looking at potentially a 4th.
Just keeps the process moving faster.
Okay, can I get a motion and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second to approve the asphalt paving at the parking lot. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for Blades Audio proposal.
Yep, so in your packet is a proposal to update the audio at McAnally Center with a system that is similar to what the new auxiliary gym at the high school has. It'll make hosting events much better to where hopefully all of our patrons can hear what is being said, and we'd like to time that work up to be completed this summer.
Well, it is in dire need. We have the money well spent. Can I get a motion to approve?
I so move.
Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Anybody have any further questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for special services for a 2024-2025 occupational therapist contract with Solient Health, Jill Treen.
Another customary this time of year, some of our specialists that we contract with to provide support for our students with some special needs. And this is a continuation contract recommended by Mrs. Sullivan, and it would be my recommendation that we continue the agreement with Ms. Jill Treen and Solient.
I make a motion to be approved. Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for the second reading of the 2024-25 building handbooks.
Yep. So last month, each of the building administrators supported, or excuse me, provided their student handbooks, and the board had them for first reading and no action. And this month is a second reading and adoption of our student handbooks.
I make a motion that we adopt.
And obviously there have been no changes since last month.
No.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for 2024-2025 employee handbooks, which consists of the hourly classified handbook, the salaried classified handbook, and the transportation handbook, which I believe we can pass all together.
Yeah, they're all, if that's okay, approve them all together.
Mhm.
There are no major changes. I think we just changed dates, correct, Mr. Romer? Dates, and we added our the assistant transportation director's position. Correct.
I make a motion that we pass the handbooks.
Second. Okay, do we have any further questions or comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request to approve payroll schedules for the 2025-26 year and 2026-27.
Yeah, so you might kind of be asking yourself, why are we approving a payroll schedule for 26-27? One of the things that we do is we're always working in the background on that, because you don't want I don't know if it's like every 7th year or every so many years, just naturally the way the calendar falls with the current payroll schedule, you end up with 27 pays, and you only want 26 in a year. And so we have to make adjustments to one of those pay periods over time. I can't remember what year that was.
It's not these two that are coming for you.
Correct.
Then it will be for 27.
So we'll have to work with the GCTA and other leaders on that to figure out how to kind of work within that and kind of delay out a pay period. I can't remember how we handled that exactly last time. Yep.
So we saw that for 2020. So I'm sure people that have been quite some time remember a week email from me almost a year telling them to plan on we were going to have a 3 instead of having it being paid bi-weekly, bi-monthly, there would be one payroll in July, which was really the best time to do it, because it wouldn't affect as many people. We wouldn't have as many hourly people, that type of thing. That there would be 3 weeks in between. So that is something that it's already on my radar. I already have it done, and I already have the email ready to go. So I just didn't want to have to kind of throw that to you tonight. So we're going to wait. We're going to do that next year on its own, and and basically we'll talk about this game plan after we have an opportunity to run it by GCTA.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Essentially, we want our staff to have plenty of time to plan for kind of that delayed check, if that makes sense.
Okay, makes sense. Can I get a motion to approve the payroll schedules?
I will second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any further questions, discussion?
I'm all for paying the teachers.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is an approval request for the 2024 summer meal program.
Yep. So Mrs. Gardner has been working with Chartwells and us to publicize our 2024 summer meal program. So it is an on-site program. And this year, since summer school for elementary is being housed at TZ, we will have TZ dedicated as our sole site for summer feeding. And it'd be my recommendation the board approve that request. We have the advertisement ready to hit the paper so we can meet all the federal requirements and serve our kids again this summer. And that's to anybody under 18. They don't even have to be a Greencastle student.
I'm glad we do that.
Now, I'm assuming that this is still money that's coming from the state or federal level.
Through reimbursement, yes.
Okay, great. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll second.
You have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next is an approval request for the best part of the evening here usually. Some donations. We have one donation from Adrenaline Fundraising to GHS Track in the amount of $4,493. We have a donation from Putnam County Community Foundation to Greencastle Middle School Just Serve Club in the amount of $750. We have yet another, thank them very much, donation from Jack and Shirley Dalton from their trust to the Greencastle High School Athletics Champions Together in the amount of $1,500, which, by the way, is a great program. And a donation from Jeff and Denise Sigworth to the Greencastle High School Boys Girls Athletic or Soccer teams in the amount of $2,000.
I'll make a motion this be approved.
Motion and second. Any comments?
Just want to say thank you.
Yes,
Great.
thank you. It just seems like Jack and Shirley Dalton sure do a lot for donating to the school, and that's greatly appreciated. So, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Last item on the new business is the first reading of a lot of Neola policies. Mr. Givney.
Yep, so no action being taken this month. This is just for your information. We have the latest update out after the legislative session. You might see a lot of the ones beginning with 0164 and carrying, or 0165 and carrying number. A lot of those policies deal specifically with the board, and some of them are being rescinded or condensed into singular policies. And then the others are mostly due to updates in legislation, changes from the legislature. So just for your information, no action required this month.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is other business. Does anyone have any other business? I would like to give kudos to a new maintenance worker, Heidi Watson, maybe? The high school? Watson, okay. I got an email snapshot from an email post of Saturday morning of the sign at Deer Meadow. The letters had been changed to something that probably didn't need to be there. So I thought, I'm close enough, I'll just go take them down. And I got there, and there was a lady that was there taking them off, and she introduced herself as a new maintenance worker at the high school and said, I just drove by, and being a school employee, I couldn't leave that there. So she stopped and took those down. So thank you to Heidi for doing that. Anybody else?
Yeah. So for a year, I've been on the school board 6 years now, and it seems like we keep working to find ways to help improve TZ school, to make it better for everybody involved. And I think we're in the process now that maybe we need to bring in an outside company just to come in and do an assessment, talk with the administrators, talk with the teachers, talk with the Teachers Association, talk with everybody, and just get an outside perspective to see how we want to move forward. And that way we can start building a trust and more trust, and we can move forward going down the road. So Jeff, if we could look into that. I don't know if the other board members are.
That's something that we already shared with staff and GCTA, and I think there is a general willingness and a want to work together, because none of our employees would be here if they didn't care about kids. But we need to figure out how to work more effectively with one another, and that's something I think everyone's committed to doing.
Well, I certainly don't think it could hurt anyone to bring, or hurt anything to bring anything in, because obviously something's not working right over there. Yeah. There needs to be a change of some form or another. Probably by all involved, all at that time. So hopefully we can get something on the right track over there. So anyway, that is all. Anybody else have any other business?
I'm excited about graduation.
Friday
night. Okay, that is all we have. Last on the agenda is adjournment. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have. Go ahead.
Make a motion. We end.
Oh, hey, Dale's had enough. Can I get Dale? We have a motion to approve. Can I get or adjourn? Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you for all for coming, and be careful going home.
Ryan.